You work too hard for your money for it not to work for you. You know, a budget is a tool to help you build a solid financial plan. It's really going to help you to have peace of mind and control over your money instead of your money controlling you. Well, in this video, I'm going to share with you the proper perspective of budgeting, and you're also going to learn one of the most popular budgeting methods, and it's known as the 50-30-20 rule of budgeting. My name is Yvonne, and the goal in this channel is personal growth. If you want to improve the quality of your life, click the subscribe button to level up. Let's start with the proper perspective of budgeting. Regardless of the budgeting method that you choose, it's important to start with proper perspective. Sometimes we do have the best intentions of creating a budget, but other things just get in the way and we don't get it done because there's never enough time, or this, that, and the other just affects our ability to be consistent. Then by the time we know it, months go by without a budget. We get by without a budget, but then we soon realize the lack of control in our spending and we're not saving as much. You know, there comes a point when you realize you keep making the same mistake of not creating a budget. But see, now a repeated mistake is called a choice. I'm here to help you make better choices. I'm here to motivate you to do better moving forward. You know, there's a good analogy that illustrates focusing on the future instead of looking back in the past and regretting our past mistakes. Think about it this way. How big is a windshield in your car? Now think about how big a rear view mirror is in your car. And this is a great analogy because it shows that, you know, it's okay to glance back, but we've got to focus forward. So what you have in front of you is bigger than anything behind you. So it's okay to glance back to the mistake you made to learn from it, right? But we've got to focus forward. So in order for us to grow forward, we've got to let some things go. Let go of your old habits and excuses. Let go of the guilt and shame of past money mistakes, and let go of the lack of understanding of how money works. It's time to change that today. You know, you work too hard for your money for it not to work for you. So again, let's focus forward by creating and sticking to our budgets. You know, you must have the right perspective to create and stick with creating a budget before the beginning of the month. Well, you see, when you're apathetic about doing a budget and you procrastinate, it's a clue that there's a problem in your perspective. The key signs that you lack the proper perspective of money is when you notice yourself procrastinating doing the budget, or maybe you live in denial and you don't feel it's important for your special situation, or you think of yourself as a victim, like it's someone else's fault why you don't have the time or can't create your budget, and you blame others for why you don't have a budget. Or you might claim to be bad at math and that's why you don't get around to it. You see, there's so many excuses when we don't have the proper perspective to really keep us grounded. You know, having the proper perspective is really going to change your motivation to do a budget. The proper perspective means that you understand the benefits of creating a budget. So the 4 areas where budgeting has direct impact in our life are financial, spiritual, relational, and emotional. First, let's talk about the financial impact. Everyone who wins with money creates and sticks to a budget because they understand that if you fail to plan, guess what? You plan to fail. And so secondly, you've got to understand the spiritual impact. So at a soul level, you experience just more peace of mind when you have a plan. And the third part of it is, you know, you understand that there's an impact to your relationship as well. Doing a budget together with a spouse, if you're married, really focuses and forces the communications and helps you get on the same page with your priorities for the household. And fourth is the emotional impact. You know, it gives you just a sense of well-being when your finances are in order and are well organized. So, these 4 points are so important for us to really step back and think about, okay, when I'm feeling a certain kind of way about budgeting, do I recognize the benefits of this? Do I have the right perspective? Because the perspective is going to help ground your why. You've got to have a big why for doing your budget. Otherwise, it falls by the wayside, and it's easy for it to have a lower priority from your other things in life. So really keep an eye on those triggers and those warning signs when they do come up. So a budget is kind of like looking in a mirror. When you look at a mirror, it really helps you gain perspective, and you have a chance to fix anything that might be off before you head outside and the world gets to see that you've got maybe lipstick in your teeth or you need to fix your hair. So you have that opportunity to take care of these things before it becomes an issue. Well, the same thing with a budget. A budget is a mirror that helps you take a really good look at your financial situation, gain perspective, and then it allows you to make wise decisions. So now that we've got the right perspective in place for budgeting, we've got a solid why to ground us. Now let's go ahead and talk about the 50-30-20 rule. I want to start this section with a quote by John Maxwell. He says, "You either tell money where to go or you wonder where your money went." You see, the 50-30-20 rule is your money roadmap where you're telling your money where to go. So just stepping back in some history behind this, Elizabeth Warren is the one that popularized the 50-30-20 budget rule in her book, All You're Worth, The Ultimate Lifetime Money Plan. And this rule is quite simple. It's really just to split your after-tax income into 3 categories of spending: 50% on needs, 30% on wants, and 20% on savings. And the rule essentially says that you should spend up to 50% of your after-tax income in needs and obligations that you must have or you must do. And then the remaining half should be split between 20% savings and debt repayment, and then 30% to everything else that you might want. So, budgeting is not a one-size-fits-all, and the method you ultimately choose is based on your unique situation. So yes, sure, this is one of the most popular budgeting methods simply because it's simple, it's easy, it's straightforward. But just a caveat, you really want to try and evaluate your personal situation to see if it's a good fit for you or not. You see, this budgeting method is good for beginners just to get started with budgeting. But as you get better, you're going to want to graduate to a more custom tailored budgeting method that really fits your unique needs as they get more complex in life. So the drawback to this method is that it isn't customized to your unique situation and doesn't consider your specific financial goals. And there are many other methods that I will take time to talk about in the future. But just keep this in mind as you go into deciding which type of budgeting method you want to use. So let's talk about the needs, okay? So, because I know a lot of us struggle with defining really what needs are. So needs are those bills that you absolutely must pay and are the things absolutely necessary for survival. So let's talk about that. Well, you definitely need a roof over your head. So let's include rent or mortgage payments there. You definitely need a mode of transportation to get to your job so that you can pay the roof over your head, right? So car payments, certainly. The transportation cost is another. You also need food. You've got to feed yourself and your family. So groceries definitely is a need. Also too, you want to ensure that you've got shelter should anything happen from a health perspective or you get injured. And so insurance is definitely a need, health care, and minimum debt payment. Minimum debt payment is absolutely a need because you want to avoid going into collections and really affecting your credit. So definitely focus on that from a needs perspective, and certainly utilities. You've got to keep your lights on and be able to turn on your stove. So utilities is absolutely a must, and have running water in your home. So these are absolute necessities. So these are your must-haves. Now let's talk about your wants. So 30% of your budget, you want to take care of the wants. And basically, wants are those little extras you spend money on that's not necessarily essential, but you know, it's just kind of something that makes things nice. So anything in the wants bucket is optional if you really boil it down. For example, let's say you want to go out to a brunch or a dinner with friends, or movies out, or maybe you want to buy that new handbag. Well, these are wants, okay? These are things that would be nice, but you can stretch and get by without it. Now let's talk about the 20% savings. You want to allocate 20% of your net income to savings and investments. So this includes adding money to any maybe emergency fund, in a bank savings account, maybe making IRA contributions, 401k for instance, and investing in the stock market. So these are areas you can save. And also in this particular method, debt repayment is considered part of this portion of funds. And the rationale is that while the minimum payments are part of the needs category, any extra payments that you make really reduces the principal and future interest owed. So there are savings ultimately that you do enjoy. So you're essentially saving money in the long run. So, you know, that's kind of the way they look at it here. So just some final thoughts. You know, it's a spiritual directives to have the diligence to create a budget and make sure that we're aware of where our money is going. And actually it says so in Proverbs 27:23. It says, be diligent to know the state of your flocks and attend to your herds. So where are your flocks and where are your herds? Well, your money is exactly that. So let me say that scripture again now in modern times, and replacing it with the word money. So we want to be diligent to know the state of your money and attend to your money. So that's definitely a great principle to go by to help us stay grounded and realize that this is an area of life that's really, captures a lot of things. You can't get by without it. And so we definitely want to be diligent and be disciplined and responsible to follow through to make sure we understand the state of our financial situation and attend to it. So in conclusion, it's important to have financial literacy and really have a wealth building strategy to be able to live a life of freedom of time and more options in life, which is really what wealth is all about, wealth creation. So with that, I've created the Money Mastery Program, and this program is designed for women who want to get a better financial picture, whether it's saving more, getting out of debt, or investing to build real wealth. You're really going to have the peace of mind that comes when you finally have an action plan for success here. So really think about how much it's costing you to feel stuck in your life and not take care of these things. So for those that are ready to invest in themselves, click on the link below in the description box to enroll. Also, I'm excited to share that I just launched my merch boutique. You're able to shop for inspirational and motivational gifts for yourself, family, and friends. The link is in the description box below. Actually, I have one of the cups here. It's really pretty. I love this. It's my favorite cup with a doodle heart. So definitely go ahead and pick up your favorite design. So if you enjoyed this video and want to improve the quality of your life, remember to click on the subscribe button to level up, and I'll see you on the next one. Oceans of love. Till next time.